Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Assistant Secretary General Yensha, for your briefing. When Russia launched its unprovoked full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the Kremlin expected a quick and decisive victory. But the Kremlin underestimated the people of Ukraine and their determination, strength, and courage. Despite all the suffering and substantial risk to global peace and security, at the cost of tens of thousands of Ukrainian and Russian lives, and against the protests of the international community and the council of this council, Putin has escalated and expanded his war of choice. Just days ago, Russia launched an experimental ballistic missile at Ukraine. The weapon was a new intermediate-range ballistic missile, which was based on Russia's RS-26 Rubyaj intercontinental ballistic missile. Ukraine withstood the strike, as it has withstood countless attacks from Russia. Russia began escalating and expanding the war some time ago, when it turned to other countries to supply its dwindling stocks of ammunition, missiles, and drones, violating this council's resolutions by importing North Korean and Iranian missiles. Suffering more than 1,000 Russian casualties per day, Russia introduced over 10,000 DPRK troops to the battlefield. In the past year, at Russia's request, the DPRK has also unlawfully transferred over 18,000 containers of munitions and munitions-related materiel, and more than 100 ballistic missiles for use against Ukraine, all of which have been used to strike populated areas like Kyiv and Zaporizhzhia. The DPRK is preparing to transfer even more ballistic missiles. We also have information a large number of DPRK origin 170mm long-range self-propelled artillery pieces and 240mm long-range multiple rocket launchers are being introduced into the conflict. None of this is without cost. We have information Russia transferred air defense systems to North Korea. Pyongyang is receiving other substantial benefits like free and subsidized fuel, relieving pressure that constricted the DPRK for decades. Russia is also selling the DPRK dual-use technology and equipment so the Kim regime can improve DPRK military manufacturing and capabilities. On this, we note that China has influence and capacity when it comes to the DPRK, and it is urgent it use this influence to prevent a further escalation of the conflict. With respect to Russia, time and again, the Kremlin has chosen to ignore its responsibilities as a permanent member of the Security Council, reneging on its commitments, indifferent to how its actions have undermined international peace and security. In March, Russia vetoed the 1718 Sanctions Committee panel of experts to conceal its violations of the Council's arms embargo. The veto was also a gift to Pyongyang, which has long sought to evade sanctions against it. The Kremlin has continuously shown disdain for the resolutions of this Council. Russia's training of DPRK soldiers, involving arms or related materiel, as well as its procurement of ballistic missiles from DPRK, violate Security Council Resolutions 1718, 1874, and 2270, which all member states are required to faithfully implement. As Russia expands and escalates the conflict, the Kremlin blames others for perpetuating the war and spreads false narratives. The Kremlin equates its drone and missile strikes with those of Ukraine, ignoring a fundamental difference. Ukraine has every right to defend itself against invasion under Article 51 of the UN Charter. Russia has no right to assault the sovereignty and territorial integrity of other UN member states. Equating Ukraine's struggle for survival with Russia's expansionism undermines everything this Council and the Charter are designed to protect. Make no mistake, Russia continues to barrage the UN Security Council with disinformation in the hopes that the truth gets lost and the world tunes out. We cannot fall victim to Russia's cynical tactics and must remain focused on its violations of international law. We must stand by Ukraine, a fellow UN member state, as it defends itself from Russia's aggression. So, To help Ukraine protect itself from Russia's escalating and expanding war, the United States is providing Ukraine with hundreds of additional Patriot and AMRAAM missiles to strengthen its air defenses. The United States will continue to surge security assistance to Ukraine to strengthen its capabilities, including air defense, and put Ukraine in the best possible position on the battlefield. The United States stands with a community of nations in support of Ukraine and the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Our future is at stake. Russia's war threatens our NATO allies, European security, and the fundamental rights enshrined in the UN Charter. We renew the call for Russia to end this war and immediately withdraw its forces from Ukrainian territory within its internationally recognized borders, and to meet its responsibilities as a member of this Council. The United States will continue to make this a priority, particularly DPRK's involvement in the war during our December presidency. Thank you, Madam President.